Say again. No, he's a veteran. My answer is he's a veteran. He's a veteran. It's not a yes or no question. My answer is he's a veteran. Have a nice day. Take care. Peace and love.
Just be in the crowd.
Hi, I'm Michael Marcel. I'm with Veterans for Peace in DC area chapter. I'm the vice president. We're here to support the Amnesty International and their stand against torture. We think it is wrong. We think it is contrary to the ideals of our country, and we in the military absolutely despise it. And we think that the more people speak out against it, the sooner it will be stopped.
And right now, 166 men have been held from their families, their friends, and their futures, despite the fact that courts have instructed the government to charge them or release them immediately. So I was asked to come here today and make sure we don't miss the big picture on this, but I think we see the big picture. So I want to talk about this a little bit more personally and about something sort of small, but that I think really makes it hit home for me. So a few nights ago, Amnesty and our very good friends at Witness Against Torture were at the museum for the premiere of Zero Dark 30. And we were there to make sure that no one going into that movie would think that torture was a reason that we captured Osama bin Laden, and that they knew that torture is immoral, it is ineffective, and it is against international law. And so a day later, my son was, looking at some of the pictures from it, my 5-year-old boy, and he started asking me questions about why all these men in orange jumpsuits had bags on their head. And, I'm the kind of parent, I want to talk to my boy about justice. I want to talk to him about freedom and human rights. And I found myself tongue-tied. And at that moment, I realized that I am ashamed and embarrassed to try to explain this last error to my boy. And this is a moment when we all have to stand forward and speak out loud and make sure this is not done in our name. This is not done in our children's name, and that we stand up and make sure that the message the U.S. government has been sending to the world, that it can do whatever it wants, to whomever it wants, wherever it wants, and it won't make apologies for it, that stops now.
So, terrorists. The Obama administration has shamelessly resorted to using drones to assassinate terrorism suspects.
We say no way! NDAA! 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 We say no way! All right, everybody, we want to keep the energy up in this part for the entire
Close
party.
enough, but
Not close enough. You have to get it on song. All right? You have to get it on song.
you're making your life harder and mine.
It's not mine. I mean, this is what the permit says. I just got to go by the rules.
But I just checked in with someone you're working with and told me I could do it.
Lee! Come here. We're not. Did you tell him we could do it?
Yeah,
Okay, well, I'm telling him we can't. I'm the supervisor. I'm sorry.
I understand, but I
Go with
started
the
because
permit.
I just
Sorry.
understand where I'm coming from.
I'm sorry.
I checked in with him. I got permission
He's
before we
not the
even
boss.
thought about it.
I'm the boss. You have to do it that way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll help you out this way. That's the only thing we can do. Sorry.
All right, listen. Wait, one more question.
Yes, sir. I'll have people help you guys cross. I understand. I'll clear that one way for us.
Human rights are under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Human rights are under attack! What do we do?
Human rights are under attack! What do we do?
Get out of my way.
No,
Get out of my way.
You're in the middle of something right now.
Sorry. Freak. You don't even live here.
I do live here.
Get out of my way.
Let's go. Keep coming, guys. Keep coming.
Shut your mouth.
This guy hit me.
Deliberate assault with a motor vehicle. License plate on this guy. Yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. Right, 2 to 3 hits. You could have bypassed by a U-turn, gone around easy.
We are not here to make angels out of prisoners. We don't know them, but we know that they are men. And that is enough for us to defend those who disappear under hoods and into jumpsuits. In Guantanamo, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, there is a brother breathing prayers of desperation, striking hunger so hard his ribs are about to crack. There is a man whose rights have been dismissed with the label terrorist, and just for saying this, I'll probably get my name put on a list, but this is way too serious for us to not resist. Mr. President, I need you to know that if it were you, hooded and chained, we would be here demanding the same human rights for you, Mr. Senator. We would walk through these streets with your name on our back. We would fast in solidarity with your hunger strike, Mrs. Congresswoman. Even after months of breathing through black cloth made you cough, we would speak for you. Mr. Newsman, Mrs. Citizen, we would be right here for you, because human rights are universal. This is life, not a rehearsal. You cannot steal years of men's lives based on nothing more than torture and bribes without becoming the biggest threat to ourselves. I have sat inside a cell, and it taught me how wrong it is to cage men, because they fell like corpses into the category of enemy combatants. I will not act like nothing happened when it is happening now. I will speak for change promise. I'm not ashamed to be honest and tell you that we have cried, Mr. President. clouds of consciousness overflowing out these eyes, Mr. President. For the brief moments we have the courage to realize there is a man under that hood. No matter how beaten and bruised, there is a man under that hood that is exactly as human as you. There is a man, no matter what his religion is, there is a man who doesn't understand why it's so hard for us to see him. For us to imagine what it might be like to be him, there in that cell, hidden from our justice system, locked away. Are we going to pretend that they are less than men and walk away? Or will we raise our eyes above the walls? Raise our voices out to call out our government and say, we see you and we know exactly what you're doing, no matter how many times they call you terrorists. We will remember that you are human. And to the detainees, no matter how tortured and broken and shattered you feel, please know that there are people in these United States that see you, that know that you are real. And to the people of my country, do not pretend we are seeking freedom or justice or any common good until we recognize the human rights of every man.
How could a country that says it is the center and the beacon of freedom and democracy have created such an abominable, unjust, immoral institution as Guantanamo, as Baghram, and as this whole system of black sites, rendition, and indefinite detention?
They are artists of torture. They are artists of pain and fatigue. They are artists of insults and humiliation. They do not spare the elderly. They do not spare the baby-toothed child. They leave us in prison for years, uncharged, because we are Muslims. Where is the world to save us from torture? Where is the world to save us from fire and sadness? Where is the world to save the hunger strikers? But we are content on the side of justice and right, worshipping the Almighty. And our motto on this island is Salam. I trust each of you to make sure that Adnan, his friend Mohammed, and the rest of the men at Guantanamo are not forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. And thank you all for being